on the view from downtown Lagos, Nigeria, taking home since 2013 in Roslyn, Pennsylvania, United States of America. I'm going to do something real quick, and do something here. Give me one moment. Make sure we do this right.
Muted.
All right, here we go. All right, young lady, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, quarter the caller is y'all. David in Nigeria. The time is 9:29 Eastern Daylight Time.
Recording started.
All right, we ready? I am beyond excited. First of all, happy Tuesday, March 31st, 2026. It's me, your girl E. This is the Phoenix Lounge. We are on the air from Nigeria. So dial in 605-562-0444 or 717-734-6904. Press the identification number 546-1150, then hit pound, then press the number 1, then pound. Then to talk to us live, *2. You are on the air, brought to you by Ngozi Time Old Time Media. I'm very, very excited. I had an exceptional month. I love the fact that this show ends on the last day of March. March was a very special month for me. Nonetheless, we have a special guest. I reached out to this guest maybe after my show last month to be a guest. She is an author. She is a poet. Her poems are beyond beautiful. And what I would like to do is introduce her. We're going to go over some poetry, inspiration, how she tapped into that creative realm. Remember, we talked about that. And we are going to have some fun. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs, welcome Waterfall Adams.
Hello, I'm glad to be here.
I'm glad you are here. Thank you so much. First of all, what part of this what part of the states are you from?
I am based in Mobile, Alabama.
Mobile. Oh, wow. That's all right. I like that. Let's talk about who you are. What do you do besides writing? And then we'll get into your writing journey.
Well, my pen and stage name is Waterfall Adams. I'm a creative professional based in Mobile, Alabama, in the United States of America. I self-publish 2 poetry books, and I'm trying to get my 3rd book edited and working on more creative works. My books, The Eclectic Mind of Vee and Free to Be Vee, are available on Amazon and other outlets. They're available on paperback and ebook versions, so I'm trying to get the audio versions together, trying to afford the studio time.
Okay, great. So go ahead, keep going. I like it.
Also, this year marks the 5th anniversary of my first self-published book, The Eclectic Mind of Vee, was released.
Well, happy anniversary.
Thank you.
Yes. I too am an author. I go by the pen name E. Davis. I've been writing since I was a child, since the age of 8, when I knew I wanted to be an author. And personally, I started my own publishing company in 2016, Writer's Block Publishing LLC. And we have over 30 books published. We publish for free. And then my connection with this awesome station is I was a guest on the show, and the producer reached out maybe a few months afterwards and offered me a great opportunity as a business analysis. And then it'll be a year next month that he offered me opportunity to to host another platform on this great network. So what I want you to do is feel free on here. This is an open platform. Please be yourself. Please relax and just have fun, because we're going to have fun tonight. How's that sound?
Sounds like fun.
Okay, so let's talk about your writing journey. When did you know that you was an author or a poet, so to speak?
Well, I know I was on a book one day. I just didn't know how to go about it. It's just I had to do a lot of researching and read a lot of books and blogs and online, and also see like which path publishing path was right for me,
Mm-hmm.
and I discovered publishing is right for me because at least I have more like independence and control over my work. And also one of the things I could do with my degree from University of South Alabama, which is a degree in art history with a minor in dramatic arts, freelance writing's one of them.
Okay. So
and also I do like spoken word poetry.
Okay. Now, do you consider yourself a poet or just an author?
Well, I'm a bit of both. I do have like versatility in my creativity works. And stuff. And speaking of marketing, are you Nigerian? Is that correct?
We are featured all the way in Nigeria. Yes.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am. We are featured all the way
Hello,
in.
ma'am?
Yeah, we're featured all the way in Nigeria.
Oh, you probably heard this wonderful digital marketing company that has been really helpful to me in the marketing and promotion of my books. It's called Precious Digital Marketing Agency. This is a wonderful company that has created my logo, my Waterfall Adams logo. They did my book promos and trailers, and we're discussing the promotions of my future books and trying to get a website for me together.
Nice. Okay, my producer said, I just reached out to him, asked if he heard of them, and he said yeah. So yeah, that's great. That's really great. So what is your how do you tap into your creativity? Like, where do you get your inspiration from?
Like everyday life, outdoors, things in current events, things that goes on in the world.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So what I did was I did purchase your book, The Eclectic Mind of Vee. And
Eclectic Mind of Vee, ma'am.
Excuse me, sorry. I don't have my glasses on. I'm being kind of rebellious. The Eclectic Mind of Vee. Right. I did get your book. I did read it. I like it. And this is also good. Perfect. You're welcome. And this is also perfect timing because April is National Poetry Month. I'm not sure if you're aware of that. Now, I personally do not. I don't do well with poetry. I remember I took a poetry class and I failed it. And my brother cannot understand someone that likes to write. How do they fail poetry? And I kind of told him in a very casual and sarcastic way, my level of poetry, my knowledge of poetry is reading the book of Psalms in the Bible or some hip hop. That's how I can get poetry. But any other poems or poet, I really don't really know how to flow with the rhythm. But what I like about your book is there's a great flow. And I really want to commend you on that because someone like me who isn't into poetry, I found your work very easy and comforting to read.
Thank you.
You're welcome. What I want to do is I want to read some excerpts read some poems from your book. I'm going to start with Art Is. A word that describes as fine as wine, yet hard to define. A word that lets you go anywhere to you. Let me start that over. A word that lets you go anywhere to you want to go in your imagination. A word that lets you know that anything is possible and allows you to dream. A word lets you break all rules, molds, conformities, and conventions. Do whatever it is that you want to do. Take something else already did or whatever inspires you and make it yours. like a cover to a song. It is where you are. It is where you are the one in control. What I'm talking about, the art you eat, the art you wear, the art you read, the art you hear, the art you move to and moves you, the art you laugh to, the art you see and watch, the art you go to and live in. What that is what art means to me. I like that because with art there's no rules. I like that. Right?
Thank you.
What was your inspiration behind
Right.
this poem?
Yeah, well, I remember, well, I wrote that book when I was at South. They were going to put together an event called Arts Inspired: The Road to Creation. In fact, that poem is featured in this in the program.
Okay. And
I remember I auditioned with that poem, and I got inspired as one of the performers.
Mm-hmm. I like that. I like that.
And I also did more spoken word poetry and some talent shows when I was on campus when I was at the University of South Alabama.
Okay. Okay. So now is that where you went to school at?
Yeah, I graduated there in December 2013. That was like I went to Bishop State Community College after I graduated from high school. Then I transferred to University of South Alabama, where I graduated from there.
Okay. So when you're not writing poetry, now you said you're also a fiction writer. What type of fiction work? Now, the work that you got coming out? Is this your first work that you had said, or you have some?
Well, the third one I'm trying to come out, it is not a fiction work. It's more like kind of like a business kind of self-help kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
The two fictions I'm talking about, I'm trying to do like more research to get that together. It's like a lot when you're trying to write a fiction, also like write a book. How are you going to go about? Is it going to be like a collection of short stories? Is it going to be like a novella, a novel, an anthology? Like, how are you going to go about this? And also learn about different genres and the subgenres. Like, for example, like with it's what is called Poetry Peril.
Okay.
It might have some horror, some mystery, some thrills, some fantasy, some spoken word poetry. Just how to go about it, though. Like those genres I just named, I learned not only about the genres, but the subgenres. And another one I have in mind is kind of like a romance. Maybe I might do a collection of short stories with this. What's called Noel Nuptials, from elopements to formals. Like these, like it's like a collection of stories I have in mind where it's like the wedding's based on like around Christmas time,
Mm-hmm.
but these different couples have different ways of how they're going to go about it. Like the simplicity, one couple might go to like a simplicity of like a courthouse, maybe like a courthouse elopement, to one will have something like a glamorous formal.
Okay. Okay. I like that. You know what I'm feeling led to say to you. I think of when I think of Maya Angelou, you know, she's a renowned poet, right? You could always do your work almost how Lauryn Hill did her album, where maybe between right before certain songs, she had the classroom setting and children, the classmates were discussing love. And then it went into the song about love, the ins and out of love, such as the X Factor and stuff like that. Maybe you could incorporate your poetry where you incorporate your poetry and your fiction where you can have it where it's like and then the actual story, maybe a short story, or maybe the actual chapters, and break it down, like maybe break your chapters down into sections. Is that making sense?
I'll try to keep that in mind, but anytime you can try to refresh my memory, maybe like a poem or so. Like for example, with romance, I didn't need to also research how I'm going to go about it. Even go, you know, the Hallmark Channel.
Yeah.
Well, they usually have around Christmas time these wholesome Christmas time romantic movies. Either if I'm going to go with like something, let's say like kind of like a wholesome romance or a romance that has some spice, you know what I mean? Or like a subgenre, something, or like a period romance.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I like the Hallmark Channel. There was one movie I watched where it was one woman was a writer, and she had to go away, so she went to this villa, so to speak, and then a chef had already rented out the villa, so they had to share it, and you know it was their love story, so to speak, because she had a daughter, and she had to tap into her creative realm. She had to get outside of her comfort zone, and he was like one of those celebrity chefs. He had to get out of his comfort zone, get out of his self, and then they end up coming together. There's all types of romances that you can do. You can even do those 3 types of romances in one book. You could do something where the first. Go ahead.
I'm saying, have you heard of Bridgerton?
That's one of my favorite series.
Yeah, that takes place around the Regency era. Well, what kind of got me an idea? Like, I can include this. It's like an idea I can include in. What's that? No Nuptials is like, let's say, it's like around December 1941. And there's people looking forward to like getting married and the holidays. Then Pearl Harbor happens, and this woman's intended he got to ship out in about a month or so. So they had to like after maybe like somewhere at the house, not only maybe they have to go to the courthouse or have the wedding at the house to get married, and have like a little reception at the house or something. Like, go look up like history of how different weddings were in different times and eras, and depending on the couple's like social status.
I love that. That's a great idea, because that's a pending nuptial. It's like, do we get married now or do we wait till you come back? I love that. And then of course social status is do I lower myself to meet my intendant's needs, or do I make them come up to my level? One of my also favorite shows is a period piece is The Gilded Age.
Oh yeah, and also like remember like the 1940s, like the people who were like more upper class would have sort of like the traditional wedding, while people who don't really have much, they go to the courthouse and she would wear a dress that she like owns or something. Like her Sunday best.
Yeah, you brainstorming now, sis. Yeah. Yeah, no, I love a good period piece. I like to read it. I like to watch it. Another good period piece by author is The Wedding by Dorothy West. She was the last writer of the Harlem Renaissance. Yep.
Hey, wait a minute, wasn't that book adapted into a movie with Halle Berry?
Yes, in 1998. Yes, with Oprah. Oprah did it. It was Halle Berry. It was Lynn Whitfield. It's one of my favorite movies. I can watch that movie, and it's long. It's like 4 hours long. That movie definitely deals with social class. Yeah, they made it a miniseries. That's such a great movie because it not only deals with social class, it deals with social class and colorisms and colors. You know what I mean? So, because you had to think Halle Berry's character came from high society because she was of the Black elite, and she was light skinned. You know what I mean? So she was preferred, and her sister married a doctor, but he was dark skinned. And Lynn Whitfield was like, you know what I mean? So she kind of acted a little shady towards him. But then Halle Berry was getting married. Her man was a white male, but he was a musician, so he didn't have money. So she's like, you gotta have a black doctor, you gotta have a black lawyer, you gonna marry a white person with no money. So that book is heavy. And one thing I'll give Oprah credit for is she brought a lot of conversation in that movie. She really brought it out because it's like, what do you do? Do you marry love or do you marry for security? Do you marry for acceptance? Yeah. And then there was a neighbor that was social climbing. He was a social climber. Like he worked hard. Like he didn't come from money. He worked hard, and he's a single father. But he was trying to get him a light-skinned wife. You know what I mean? Because he was married to a. Say it again.
Like a social status symbol.
Yeah, he needed a social status because the neighbor, his name was Lute, and he had money, but it was more it wasn't generational money. He had to work for his money. And so what he did was he ended up marrying a white woman, and she gave him babies, but she was a Karen. She was a bona fide Karen, and he sent her away. And he made it seem like the mother didn't want her children. He made it seem like because they was living in they got married and moved to Paris. You know, back in those days, I mean, still, but back in those days, you know, in that time frame, there wasn't racism in Paris. You could be black and white and married and have all the babies you want to. Nobody looked at you crazy. But when they came to the States, there's a lot of segregation, colorism, and he made it seem as if she couldn't handle the way things were, and she probably couldn't. So she was saying like subliminal, you know, all the microaggressions, like I made you, you wouldn't be where you are, it wasn't for me. And he made her go. He's like, oh, you need to go because I'm gonna find me somebody who's gonna make sure I'm all right. And he set his eyes on Halle Berry's character because she came from money. But Lynn Whitfield spotted him from a mile away. She's like, I bet you won't. You know what I mean? That's such a great movie and a period piece and social structure. Because when Halle Berry was getting married, she told her fiance, she said, we can't just live in the North because the segregation is mainly in the South. We can't just live up here. We can't limit ourselves. What am I going to do? I can't go to restaurants with you in the South. And I barely get accepted up here. So there's a lot of conflict. It's such a great book. It is a great, great book.
Well, I didn't know it was based on a book till now.
Oh yeah, Dorothy West. She like I said, she died in I think 97, I believe it was. She was the last writer from the Harlem Renaissance. I remember I asked that. Okay. Yeah, when I first found out that book, and again when I saw the movie, I watched it. I recorded. This is back in the day. I recorded it, and I binged it. I knew it's front ways and back ways, and then when I was able to get the internet and everything, I researched it and found out that you know who the author was, and I researched the author. And I said, wow, okay, so she died right when this movie was, you know, get ready to come out. You know, Oprah be on that book club and everything. And what I also researched was just the historical timeline. And that's something you could put in your book. Because, you know, especially back in the day where things were, I don't want to say use the word limited, but especially within society and social structure and caste and the casting system and class.
Yeah, so you just gave me an idea of what I can use, like one of the Christmas elopement stories for Noel nuptials. It's like I'm on Google right now. I looked at I put in 1940s Christmas elopement. It was often characterized by the hate simplicity, according to Google.
Uh-huh.
It's characterized as the hate simplicity and
married?
No.
Marriage is work.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm married. I've been married for going on 10 years. Marriage is work. It's a work every day. There's a good, there's a bad, there's an ugly, there's and it's not even like the arguing, it's the ups and downs, roller coasters. Like this past year, there was nothing but death in mine and my husband's family. We had to rally together as a unit to stand strong, to be there for each other in those grief moments, those grief attacks. There's the sickness and in health. And I'm not just talking about a common cold where you know how men are when they get sick, they're big babies. But my parents were married they were together for 25 years. It was married for 20 years. And my mother got sick and my dad was there. She ended up getting breast cancer. It was sickness and in health. You know what I mean? And she had a mastectomy. She had radiation, three different types of radiation, 3 different types of chemo, the hair falling out, the skin burning from the radiation. But he still treated her as if she was a beauty queen. It's work. You have to work at it. Then my dad at one point was an active addiction. There was the better for worse. She had to deal with that. You know what I mean? Now he's been clean for 35 years, but it's work. You got to work at it. And people don't want to work. And that's something else you can, put in your writing, the work on marriage. How you're not just going to leave your spouse because of things being uncomfortable. You got to accept being uncomfortable. You got to work. You got to pray for your spouse. You got to now I'm not saying be in a volatile marriage where they're beating you and hitting you. That was that old days where you just stayed because where else are you going to go?
Yeah.
No, I would never condone that or encourage that. But you also got to look at family traumas. Why, you know what I mean? Triggers. And you got to learn how to minister to it. You got to learn how to let your spouse know that I am a safe space. You can trust me. I'm not here to hurt you. I'm here to love you. I'm here to love you through it. You know what I mean? It's work. And people don't want to work.
It's sure.
It's always like a second job. You go to work. You could go to work all day, 9 to 5, and come home and go to work. That means your spouse can be off that day, right? You can have the day off while you at work. And you could come home to a sink full of dishes, laundry in the basket, and you're like, what? Now you could flip out, you could cuss, you could fuss, you could do all that. Or just calmly have a conversation like, listen, honey, I know this is your day off. I appreciate all the work that you do. But if you don't mind helping me out around the house, I would greatly appreciate that. Now they could say whatever they want to say. They could say, well, I'm enjoying my day off. I'm not doing it. I'll take care of it later. And I know you could be fuming, irritated. Like I know they just not just, yeah. Something you just let it go. It's not that deep. Wash them dishes, put them in the dishwasher, fold that laundry, and keep it moving. It's work. The work is you that flip it out. The work is you that cuss it out and carry it on. The work is you. That's work. I'm telling you, that's work. That's work. And people don't understand that. Work is praying for your spouse. You might have to get up at the midnight hour and pray for your spouse. Work is where your spouse can be laid off for work, and who know when they're getting called back, and you the primary breadwinner. I'm not just saying the man is. It could be the woman. It could be anything. It could be anything. That's work. You got to work together. Before we continue, and we're gonna read another poem. We got a caller in the queue. Caller, thank you so much for calling. Please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Hi, E. Davis and your special guest. Waterfall, is it? I love that. It's so beautiful. This is Ava Holly.
Hi, Ava.
From right outside of Atlantic City. How you doing?
Hi.
I'm fine, and you?
E, I didn't know you were a Pittsburgh girl.
Pittsburgh, baby. Hashtag 412.
I went to school right outside of Pittsburgh.
Oh, yeah?
And, I became a Steeler fan in 1981 and remained a Steeler fan ever since, through the good times and the bad.
Yeah, that's work.
Like a marriage.
That's work.
talking poetry and author tonight, Waterfall. I feel the same. I'm a little bit of both. And I just finished a compilation with one of our other hosts, Angela Thomas Smith.
Oh, yeah.
And you gotta, E. Davis, if Waterfall is not hooked up with her, you need to hook her up with her because she does a lot of poetry stuff.
Okay.
And so I know that'll be awesome for your guest. I love your topic. I love what you're talking about. It's so great. It's so great to be able to express yourself on paper or in spoken word, and I really enjoy that. So thank you for sharing this platform tonight. It's perfect.
Thank you, and thank you, Ava. I really appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Say that again.
Well, I'm glad you had such a good comment.
Good. I'm glad. I really have no questions for you. I'm just enjoying the show, and I appreciate you bringing this to light tonight.
Thank you, Ava. That means a lot because I know your schedule is crazy tight. I really appreciate you taking the time.
Oh God, it's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
You are awesome. That's work, honey.
Thank you.
Now, when's your next show? You was last week. When's your next show?
Well, we're coming up on April 8th. I
Okay.
think it's the 8th, that Wednesday of that week, with Sherry Petito's going to be on with me. And we have a special guest through her. I believe he's Canadian that's coming this time. So that'll be a lot of fun. And then Friday night, I'll be co-hosting with Angela with doing the poetry author thing with Zachary and Angela. That'll be on Friday. And then we got Podbean coming up later in the month. So,
nice.
We got a lot going on. So thank you for letting me share that.
Yes, I'm so glad. Thank you so much for sharing, and thank you again for calling.
Oh, you're welcome. Enjoy the rest of your show.
Thank you. All right, so let's do a brief disclaimer. So we are on the air all the way from Nigeria. So please dial in please dial in at 605-562-0444 or 717-734-6904. Press the show identification number 546-1150, then hit the pound sign, then press £1. And to talk to us live, hit *2. We are live on the air, brought to you by Ngozi Time Multimedia. This is a great show, and I'm very excited to have our guest Waterfall Adams, the Eclectic Mind of Vee, all the way from Alabama. Now, we talked about...
Free the Beezy.
I'm sorry?
And also another book of mine called Free the Beezy. And next year it'll be 5 years since that book came out.
Oh, that's nice. I like that. I'm glad. I like that you keep the anniversary of the books. I know that the books that I published, I don't remember the anniversary. I can remember the time frames that I published them, but I don't remember the anniversary. So you just saying that's going to make me mark down in the calendar when the books were published, so I can even celebrate those anniversaries. And 5 is a definitely milestone number. So congratulations on that upcoming anniversary. I want to read the poem. You're welcome. I want to read the poem because we talked about work, real job. Get a real job, they say. A respectable job, they say. A stable job, they say. Now, that's the biggest joke I ever heard. Really? What is a real job exactly? They say it's something you should get after you finish high school. They say it's something that is easy to get. They also say it's more respectable, like a teacher, an accountant, or postal worker. Sometimes you don't get respect from a respectable job. Your parents always give advice, but not how to get the job. In the 21st century, the digital age, is not the same old job application and interview process, especially not since back in the so-called good old days. Back in my day, it seems like they want you to have that job, rather you are wanting that job for yourself. No matter the interview, the same question is always asked. Why do you want to work here? Can't really think of a good answer or lie other than it's because I'm broke, damn it. You feel utterly useless when you can't get a job at a fast food joint or a regular 9 to 5. So the definition of a real job is something that is not what it seems to be anymore. I like that. Let's elaborate on that poem, A Real Job. What inspired that poem?
Well, Well, there's many changes that's been going on in the workforce, and what you've been told by older generation don't really apply anymore. And also, because I'm the millennial generation, I've seen the world go from analog to digital, and certain jobs are being phased out or getting replaced by AI, and it's moving at a faster.
Calling from? writing since I was a kid. I always had, and basically
like my outlet.
Yes, like when I turned 16, my parents gave me $100 when I turned 16. Now this is what 1992, 91, 92. And my father and my mother said, do not buy a notebook, do not buy any pens. You're going to buy some clothes. And I know anything about buying clothes. So I ended up buying a pair of leggings and a do-rag and thought I was buying something. But because I was always buying notebooks and pens and I was always writing. And to this very day, I journal every single day. I have a diary I write in, I have a prayer journal. Yeah, so writing, but I just felt led to just share with you to write plays.
Yeah. And I've also, like, since I was a kid, always journaling. And it's funny because I still have all those journals. I pulled them out maybe like a month ago, and I was just like, wow, like, this is what I thought, like, when I was in my 20s, or I was going through this. Like, some things you totally, forget. And then when you read it, or other things, when you read it today, you're like, wow, my perspective surely has changed, or, you've grown. So it's nice to look back and see. But for me, it's always definitely been an outlet. And just like you too, I still go to the store and I have to buy a notebook and a pen.
Yes.
yes.
I love it. I love it.
Journal every day like I would love to, but that's my goal for this year. Like every day, start entering something on a daily basis without a doubt. And I appreciate this show, and I am definitely going to be checking you out.
Thank you so much. Now, when's your next show?
I'm not quite sure. Dr. I might be able to tell you guys that better than I could.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm not. Yeah, but I will definitely be checking in for your future show. So I look forward to it.
Thank you again for calling.
Keep doing what you're doing, honey. You're welcome. Have a good night.
You too. You too. All right, Waterfall. How do you feel?
Fine, and you?
I'm enjoying the show. I hope you're enjoying it as well. You're very popular tonight. I'm just letting you know that. I'm going to read another poem.
Okay.
We have the dance. I'm letting you know these. Say it again.
And if you're reading that poem, can I read a poem from my second book? It's even though it's featured in the first book, this one has more of a revised version.
Well, go ahead, read it. Read it now. I'm excited. Go ahead.
Okay, it is called "We Have to Dance." We always have to dance. Through times of enslavement, we still have to dance. Mm-hmm. Even when they try to take it away, they dance through the shade. From the juke joints to the migration, we have to dance. Even when it's time to pay the rent, we had to dance. Through depression and worldwide war, we have to dance. In the dance studios and sock hops, we have the dance. Live, on television and through civil unrest, we have the dance. Live and in color. We can get smooth and we can get rough. Live and in color and integrated. The Soul Train days and the disco nights, we have to dance. With BET, MTV, and VH1, we have to dance.
Nice.
Through social media, we have to dance. At Broadway, church, the club, community centers, competition, Hollywood, television, social gatherings, universities, all over the world, we have to dance. We even put our own spin on it. Because of this, I shake what my ancestors gave me and get my Jackson on. So to the future and beyond, we have to dance. Thank you.
I love that. Because we do. We got to dance. We do. We got it. It's the rhythm. I think we got like this rhythm in us. There's always a dance in us. We dance to celebrate life. We dance to celebrate monument moments. We dance to mourn. It helps us get through a mourning process. There was a writer in Pittsburgh. His name was Hercules Chico Butler. And he wrote his book called Justice Denied. And I had the honor of publishing that book. And he passed away about 3 years ago. He was in the Korean War. He was a victim of, he was a prisoner of war. He was wrongfully incarcerated. He had a lot of trauma, not only from the war, but being in prison. And what he did is to help him through that trauma was dance. He would wear these zoot suits and he would just dance, and it helped him heal from that trauma. Chico Butler. Yep. We have to dance. We have to keep moving, is what I always say. Because when we're not moving, we become a victim to the atmosphere. You know what I mean? There's something about the wind when I see a windy day. When the trees dance, when they sway back and forth, when the flowers move. It's a dance. It's a dance. It's a dance. And I love that poem. I love that poem. You are so talented. I'm telling you. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
Let me see what else I could pull up. Let me see. I don't want to read the whole book, but I mean, I know I will. But this is, let me see. Let me just do the introduction and thanks. Disclaimer, I'm not a racist, but some of the poems discuss the issues of Black community. I'm not writing racism, I'm writing reality. By the way, this book has adult language that is not meant for little kids. Enjoy. Okay, I love that. I'm not one for long speeches, so here I go. First of all, I thank God because I would not be anything without him. I would also like to thank my mom, Judy Elaine Newbern. She's the one who introduced me to books and proofread edit this book. Thank you very much to my best friend, Tracy Hunt, for believing in me. I want to thank my therapist, Charles David Brown, also known as Charlie Brown. I also like to thank my fans for your support. For a long time, I wanted to write a book. In fact, I wanted to write a book, period. A little kid watching either a McDonald's or United Negro College Fund commercial. I remember the very first poem I remember hearing was Maya Angelou's I Still I Rise. By this time I was in high school. I used to write poems to my guy friends. During my junior year at the University of South Alabama, the music department had an event called Arts Inspired, The Road to Creation. I auditioned and got to perform. I wrote a poem that was published by the events program. The department asked me to recite Art Is, which is included in this book. I performed in some talent shows or campus and was on campus TV as well. This book has been a long time in making. Ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce you the Eclectic Mind of Vee. Now, where did that title come from?
Well, I remember I had like a collection of poetry I want to put into a book, but I just didn't have a title for it though. Mm-hmm. And since the book, the poems in the book is about different topics, and the word for like different things being put together, meaning for that like eclectic. So, Eclectic Mind of Vee.
I like it. And then you said the second book is called what?
Free to Be Vee.
Free to Be Vee.
Yes.
Okay. Free. I like that. To be Vee. Now, the pen name Waterfall, Adams, where did that come from?
Well, so there's a lot of there's some different places. Like 1970s called Man Child. He was in that band with Daryl Simmons.
Wow. Now, our producer is a music guru, so I'm sure he can give me a history lesson on that one. But wow.
He met Michael Jackson back when he was like in his early teens.
Mm-hmm.
But he told a story about that where he lied about who he was and called somebody. I need to take you the link to that story. It was like interview Oprah Winfrey. He told that story how he got to meet Michael Jackson. All it took is a phone book, one phone call, and lie about who he was.
Oh wow, that's amazing. Okay, so this is before the deal, because when I saw your book with the seasons, it made me think of the deal on 2 occasions. Do you remember that song?
He was in like bands before Man Child, like probably from like junior high through high school. And then when he graduated, he was with Man Child, and then after he left Man Child, he was like in another band before the deal. Okay,
man, I'm gonna look that up. In fact, I'm gonna challenge my producer to I don't have to challenge him because he's an extraordinaire, but he's a musical guru. He's a DJ. He's an award-winning DJ. He is the epitome. So I know that he knows that information.
I know he's a music producer, but I know he was like a DJ. I never heard him DJ anything, but I know he was like a producer.
No, my producer would know that. That's no, that's all right. That's all right.
Yeah, I was thinking since Michael Jackson, that new Michael Jackson movie is gonna come out on what's that? Oh yeah, on April. And say I have to be a secondary host to a podcast you'll find on Spotify called Cinema Bros podcast.
Okay, now speaking of the Michael Jackson movie, are you looking forward to seeing it?
Oh yes, and also there's plenty of more musicians that need to have their own biopic, like Babyface himself.
Yep.
Stevie Wonder.
Yep.
It's like the first time, like ever, like Michael Jackson's story is actually being on the big screen of his life, actually on the big screen, because the first time, like his life was that Jackson's The American Dream. Have you seen that one?
Oh, I can't tell you how many times I watched that. Yeah. That's the back in the day when your family gathered around the TV in the living room and watched that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I've read Catherine's book when she first wrote it. It came out, I think, in the late 80s, early 90s. Yeah, I've been a Michael Jackson fan since I was a child. My mother was a huge Jackson 5. Yeah, my mother was a huge Jackson 5 fan. She had a crush on Jermaine Jackson back in the day. But yeah, I had the Michael Jackson doll growing up. Yeah. I go back, me and Mike.
And I also remember when he passed away. I never forgot the day he passed away.
Nobody did.
Ever, because my mom told me he had a heart attack at first, and then I remember when I got home and I turned on the TV and I saw he passed away. I remember dropping the remote. My sister, who was working at a hotel at the time, called, and she knew how big of a Michael Jackson fan I am. She thought I was having a nervous breakdown. I was like in shock, and I remember watching the funeral too.
Oh no, a friend of mine called me. I had just finished eating dinner, and she had called me. And she had told me, and I had my friend and her mother was staying with me. They're getting an apartment redone, basically renovated. And they had to help me in the bed. I was so distraught. And I had to break the news to my daughter. My daughter was just getting into Michael Jackson. I said, well, let me just get you some CDs so you can really see who he is, from the Jackson 5 to the 70s Michael Jackson, the Off the Wall album to the Thriller album. And I reached out to a friend of mine and said, can you burn some CDs for me? And he's like, yeah, no problem. So I'm waiting to get these CDs. I said she could listen to the greatness, the sound. And I broke the news and I was bawling my eyes out. And my friends had to help me in the bed. I was you thought he was a family member. I was devastated. when he died. Very, very devastating.
And I was like shocked because it shocked the world and like certain like social media platforms and websites and search sites and just crashed. People were in the street dancing to his music.
Yeah.
And I also remember on that Saturday, I was in the local mall, where I remember some stores in the mall's hallway was playing his music. And when I went to, there was a music store called FYE for your entertainment.
Yeah, I remember that store. We had one out here.
Not only his music, it's like his music, like his CDs and CDs from his family were gone. And he topped the charts again.
No, and it's a shame that Tito died. I think it was last year, and he was the one that I like to say got the ball rolling, because remember, yeah, my daughter took it hard. She was calling him Uncle Tito. I said, what? She said she was crying. She said Tito died. I said, how? It was a heart attack. So yeah.
Yeah. So basically, I noticed something like the date September the 10th. September the 10th, 2001. It was the last time we saw like Michael Jackson perform with all his brothers on stage together. But he could have died the next day because September 11th happened. He had a meeting in there, but he overslept.
Oh wow! So we got a caller 3 in queue. Caller, thank you so much for calling. Please tell us your name and where you calling from.
Hey, how you doing, E. Davis? How you doing? This is Honey.
Hey, Honey, what's up?
Oh no, y'all are just really touching my heart tonight, and speaking about when Mike made his transition when he passed on, and I want to be real, real vulnerable with what I'm about to say here. I don't think I cried so much. The last time I cried that hard was when Queen Like People got shot in the movie Shut It Off.
Oh wow.
Yeah. The news that
let's talk about that. Let's talk. No, why did you feel that way about Queen Latifah?
I'm trying to think. What was I doing that? I know most likely I was either doing some pest control. That's my mama's career. First, I just heard people screaming all over the place, and I'm like, just wherever I was at, I know the story broke, and just about every news station and things like that. But here's the thing that disturbs me about his own doctor. Now, I don't know if he became the willing sacrifice to do their dirty work. I don't know if he did it on his own or